Reading stories is an excellent way to improve English grammar in an engaging and enjoyable manner. Stories expose readers to a variety of sentence structures, vocabulary, and grammatical rules in context. Unlike traditional grammar exercises, which can sometimes feel repetitive or tedious, stories captivate the imagination and provide examples of language in action. This makes it easier for learners to internalize grammar patterns without the conscious effort of memorization. One of the key benefits of reading stories is the exposure to natural language flow. Stories are written by native speakers or experienced authors who use language authentically, which helps readers absorb correct grammar subconsciously. By consistently reading well-written texts, learners develop a sense of what sounds right in English. This intuition can be invaluable when constructing sentences, whether in speaking or writing. Reading stories also enhances the ability to recognize and understand grammatical nuances. Stories often include a range of tenses, moods, and voices: past, present, future, active, and passive, allowing readers to see how grammar adapts to different contexts. For example, through dialogue, readers learn conversational structures, while descriptive passages showcase the use of adjectives and adverbs. These varied examples provide a comprehensive understanding of grammar that textbooks alone cannot match. Additionally, stories improve vocabulary alongside grammar. Learning new words in context helps readers understand how these words interact with grammatical rules, such as subject-verb agreement or proper word order. The more diverse the stories read, the broader the exposure to different writing styles, dialects, and cultural expressions. This not only strengthens grammar skills but also enhances overall language fluency. Finally, reading stories fosters a love for the language, motivating learners to engage with English more frequently. Consistent exposure to written stories creates a habit of learning, which is essential for mastering grammar. The emotional connection formed with characters and plots makes the learning process more meaningful, reinforcing retention of grammar rules in a way that is both practical and enjoyable. The Adventure of Lila and the Magic Lantern. Chapter 1: The Strange Glow. On the edge of the Whispering Woods, a little girl named Lila lived in a cozy cottage with her grandmother. Lila was curious and loved exploring. She often wandered into the woods, picking berries and imagining grand adventures. One evening, as the sun dipped below the hills, Lila noticed something unusual. A faint, golden glow shimmered deep within the woods. What could it be? She wondered. Clutching her lantern tightly, she decided to follow the light. The deeper she went, the brighter the glow became. It led her to a clearing she had never seen before. In the center of the clearing stood a peculiar object, a beautiful, antique lantern hanging from an ancient tree. The lantern sparkled as though it was alive. As Lila reached out to touch it, a soft voice spoke. "Thank you for finding me," it said. Startled, Lila stepped back, only to realize the voice was coming from the lantern itself. "I'm Lumo, the magic lantern," it said. I've been waiting for someone brave and kind to help me. Are you ready for an adventure? Without hesitation, Lila nodded. Chapter 2, The First Task. Lumo explained that it had lost its light-giving crystals, scattered across different magical lands. To restore its full power, Lila would need to find them. Where do we start? Lila asked eagerly. First, to the Valley of Echoes, Lumo replied, glowing softly. But beware, the valley is full of tricky riddles. Only those who solve them can pass. With Lumo guiding her, Lila walked through the woods until she reached the valley. The air buzzed with whispers. Strange rocks shaped like faces surrounded her, and one of them spoke. To move forward, solve this riddle, it said. I speak without a mouth, and I hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with wind. What am I? Lila thought hard. She remembered her grandmother once talking about the wind carrying sounds. An echo! She exclaimed. The rocks rumbled and parted, revealing a shimmering crystal lying on a pedestal. Lila picked it up, and Lumo's glow grew brighter. Well done, Lila! The first crystal is ours. Chapter 3, The Floating Isles. Their next destination was the Floating Isles, where the second crystal was hidden. The isles floated high in the sky, connected by translucent bridges that shimmered like rainbows. How will we get there? Lila asked. Lumo spun in the air, creating a spiral of light. Hold on tight, it said. Suddenly, Lila felt herself lifted off the ground, flying upward until she landed on a soft, cloud-like surface. The isles were stunning, with waterfalls of liquid light and birds that sang songs that turned into stars. As Lila admired the beauty, a guardian bird with feathers like moonlight approached her. You seek the crystal, it said. To earn it, show me kindness. How would you help someone who is lost? Lila smiled. I would listen to them, guide them, and make sure they feel safe. The bird chirped happily and handed her the crystal. Your heart is true, young one. Go forth. Chapter 4, The Shadowy Forest. With 2 crystals in hand, Lumo now glowed brightly, lighting their way to the final destination, the shadowy forest. This land was dark and eerie, with trees so tall they blocked out the sky. Be careful, Lumo warned. This forest tests your bravery. As they ventured deeper, shadowy figures emerged, whispering doubts into Lila's ears. You're too small to finish this journey, they hissed. Lila felt scared but remembered her grandmother's advice: fear is only as big as you let it be. Holding Lumo tightly, she took a deep breath. You're wrong. I've come this far, and I won't stop now. The shadows dissolved, revealing the final crystal on a pedestal surrounded by flowers that glowed like stars. As Lila picked it up, the forest brightened, and Lumo shone brilliantly. Chapter 5 The Lantern's Secret. With all 3 crystals, Lumo's light was restored. "Thank you, Lila," it said. "Because of your courage, kindness, and wisdom, you've proven yourself worthy." Suddenly, the lantern transformed into a golden key. "This key unlocks the door of wonders," Lumo explained. "It leads to a place where dreams come true. But remember, it is your heart that makes those dreams possible." Lila used the key to open a hidden door in the forest. Inside was a world of endless possibilities, trees that grew books, rivers of chocolate, and a sky filled with friendly dragons. Lila knew she could visit this magical place anytime, but more importantly, she realized the true magic was the strength she had found within herself. The end. The Chronicles of Skyville, The Quest for the Celestial Crown. Prologue, The Legend of the Crown. In the kingdom of Skyville, where clouds brushed the castle towers and rivers sparkled like silver threads, there was an ancient legend whispered from generation to generation. It was said that high above the mountains, beyond the reach of mortal hands, rested the celestial crown, a magical artifact that granted its wearer the wisdom of the stars and the courage of 1,000 warriors. The crown had kept the peace in Skyville for centuries, but one day, it vanished, stolen by a shadowy force. Without the crown's guidance, the kingdom fell into disarray. Rivers dried up, crops withered, and a heavy gloom settled over the land. Desperate for salvation, the wise Queen Ilara summoned the kingdom's bravest adventurers. "Find the celestial crown," she commanded. "Only then will Skyville be saved." But none of the adventurers returned. Chapter 1 Finn and the Call to Adventure. In a quiet village on the outskirts of Skyville lived a young boy named Finn. He was an apprentice to the village blacksmith, spending his days forging tools and dreaming of adventures. Though small in stature, Finn had a sharp mind and an unyielding determination. One day, while delivering a newly forged sword to a merchant, Finn overheard 2 villagers whispering about the Queen's quest. "No one will ever find the crown," one said. "It's guarded by beasts and riddles too terrible to face," the other replied. Finn's heart raced. The thought of adventure sparked a fire in him. That night, under the glow of the moon, he made a decision. "If no one else can find the crown, then I'll do it," he vowed. Packing a small bag with bread, a flask of water, and a map of the kingdom, Finn set off before dawn. Chapter 2 The Enchanted Forest. Finn's journey began in the Enchanted Forest, a place filled with ancient trees whose roots twisted like gnarled fingers. The air buzzed with magic, and glowing orbs floated among the leaves. As Finn walked, he felt as though he were being watched. Suddenly, a deep voice echoed, "Who dares enter my forest without permission?" A great stag emerged from the shadows, its antlers adorned with vines and flowers. Its eyes glowed like amber. "I am Finn," he said, trying to keep his voice steady. "I seek the celestial crown to save my kingdom." The stag tilted its head. "To pass through my forest, you must prove your heart is pure. Answer my question, what is the greatest strength a person can possess?" Finn thought hard. "It's not strength of arm or speed of foot," he said finally. "It's courage, the courage to do what's right, even when you're afraid." The stag nodded. "You may pass, young one. Remember, courage will guide you when the path grows dark." With that, the stag disappeared, and the forest parted to reveal the next leg of Finn's journey. Chapter 3: The Tower of Whispers. Beyond the forest lay the Tower of Whispers, a crumbling spire said to hold secrets of the past. As Finn approached, he heard faint murmurs carried by the wind. The tower's doors creaked open, inviting him in. Inside, the air was thick with whispers. Ghostly figures flitted in and out of sight, their voices overlapping. At the center of the room stood a pedestal with a glowing orb. A voice boomed, "To ascend the tower, you must answer a question. Listen closely." The whispers coalesced into a riddle. "I am not alive, yet I grow. I do not have lungs, yet I need air. I do not have a mouth, yet I can drown. What am I?" Finn furrowed his brow. The whispers grew louder, as if testing his resolve. Then it came to him. "Fire," he said confidently. The room fell silent, and a staircase spiraled upward. At the top of the tower, Finn found a silver amulet inscribed with runes. "This will protect you in the trials ahead," a voice whispered. Chapter 4: The Frozen Peaks. The amulet led Finn to the frozen peaks, where icy winds howled like wolves. The treacherous paths were lined with sharp icicles, and every step threatened to send him tumbling into the abyss below. As he climbed, a blizzard engulfed him. He could barely see, and the cold seeped into his bones. Finn remembered the stag's words and pressed on, his courage pushing him forward. Hours later, he stumbled into a cave. Inside, a figure cloaked in frost sat upon a throne of ice. "You seek the crown," it said, its voice echoing like cracking ice. "But only the worthy may proceed. Show me your resilience." The figure conjured a storm of illusions: fearsome beasts, endless darkness, and overwhelming loneliness. Finn clutched the amulet and focused on the truth. "This is not real," he whispered. "I will not give in." The illusions shattered, and the figure smiled. "You have proven yourself. Go forth, and may the stars guide you." Chapter 5: The Celestial Crown. At last, Finn reached the summit of stars, where the celestial crown rested on a pedestal of glowing stone. The crown sparkled with a light that seemed to come from the heavens themselves. But as Finn approached, a shadowy figure appeared. It was the thief who had stolen the crown, a sorcerer shrouded in darkness. "You've come far, boy," the sorcerer sneered. "But this crown is mine." Finn stood his ground. "The crown belongs to Skyville. I won't let you keep it." The sorcerer unleashed a torrent of magic, but Finn dodged and remembered his lessons. Using the amulet, he deflected the sorcerer's attacks and reached the crown. As he placed it on his head, a burst of light filled the summit, banishing the sorcerer and restoring the crown's power. Epilogue: A Hero's Return. Finn returned to Skyville as a hero. With the celestial crown restored, the rivers flowed, the crops grew, and the kingdom prospered once more. Queen Ilara knelt before him. "You have shown us that even the smallest among us can achieve greatness." Finn smiled. "It wasn't just strength that brought me here, it was courage, kindness, and resilience." From that day forward, Finn became the keeper of the crown, ensuring that its power was used wisely and justly. And though he was now a hero, he never forgot the lessons of his journey. The end.